Hello everyone, welcome to our video tutorial. In this video, we're gonna talk about problem-solving strategy. For the objectives, first is promote the formulation of effective strategies and for approaches for solving a variety of mathematical and real-world problems. Second, equip learners with a clear, step-by-step framework for tackling problems, enabling them to approach challenges systematically and confidently. So this problem-solving strategy is what we call the Polyas problem-solving strategy. Polyas problem-solving strategy is a systematic approach to tackling mathematical problems developed by the Hungarian mathematician George Polya in the early 20th century. And together with this, he also developed four key steps in solving a problem. First is understand the problem. This means that we need to comprehend the problem so that we can identify what is being asked. Then we can look for a relevant information to solve the problem. Second is devise a plan, formulating a strategy to solve the problem. Third is carry out the plan. This step is where we execute the plan so that we can apply our chosen method. Fourth is review the solution. Reviewing the solution to ensure it is correct and makes sense in the context of the original problem. So we have here an examples to further illustrate and give you a different methods on solving a problem. Here we have a problem. Polly wants to visit her friend Haley, but their house is far from them. She needs to transport so that she can go to her friend's house. There are various modes of transportation such as riding a several jeepney and van, each contributing to the total number of routes for her. How many direct routes are possible for her to be able to arrive at Haley's house? I have here an illustration of the roads that can determine how many routes can Polly pass. So, here is the illustration. As you can see, there are numbers in the roads. These numbers is these numbers are the possible routes that can Polly pass. So, para mas maintindihan nyo kung paano siya ginawa, let's I will explain it further. So first is meron ditong first road which is may nakalagay na 1. So para ma-determine natin kung ilang roads ba yung madadaanan ni Polly is we're gonna count the roads. First is the roads in the upper part and the roads in the left side. So kailangan natin siyang i-add. First road in the left side plus the first road in the upper side, if you combined it, magiging dalawang road na yung madadaanan ni Polly. So, edi dalawang roads na yung nadaanan niya. Kung dadaan naman siya sa ikalawang road, we'll just add it again. The second road na nadaanan niya plus the first road again in the upper, nagiging 3 roads na yung possible na madaanan ni Polly. And then you will repeat it again in the other roads. Third road plus the first road in the upper is equal to 4. 4 roads. And then we will repeat again. 4 plus 1 is equal to 5 roads. And 5 plus 1 is equal to 6 roads. So there are total of 6 roads in the first column na pwedeng madaanan ni Polly. Susunod, dito naman tayo sa ikalawang road na pwedeng madaanan ni Polly, which is the second column, second road, I mean. So you will just add again the second road kanina, I mean 2 roads na madadaanan niya plus the first main road na dadaanan niya in the left side. You will add that. So you will get 3. 3 again. And then you will repeat 3 roads plus the 3 roads na madadaanan niya kanina plus the 3 roads na nadaanan niya naman dito. You will add and then you will get a 6. 6 roads. And then repeat again. 6 plus the 4 roads na nadaanan niya kanina equals 10. Then 10 plus 5 equals 15. And 15 roads plus the 6 roads earlier is equals to 21 roads. So we're finished in the second column. So we're gonna count again the roads in the last column. Again, you will repeat the steps. Uulitin natin kung paano natin binilang yung mga roads kanina dito sa panghuli. So, the first or the main road in the left, you will add the 3 roads that we counted earlier. Then we will get a 4. Then 4 plus 6 is equal to 10. Then 10th road plus the 10th road earlier is equal to 20. And then 20th road plus the 15th road is equal to 35. And then the last is 35 is plus 21 is equal to 56 roads. So, all in all, there are 56 roads that can Polly pass or yung madadaanan ni Pauling Rhodes papunta sa friends niya, which is Haley's house. So, ganun lang po. We'll just add the roads na pwedeng mapuntahan niya. And then, after you add that road, yun, mag-a-add ka na naman ulit kung ilan yung road na madaanan mo. You will just add that road to your current roads na nadaanan mo so that you can count how many roads you passed by bago ka makarating sa destination or bago makarating si Polly sa destination niya, which is Haley's house, her friend's house. Okay? Let's give the final answer for this problem. Final answer. Answer. Wait a minute. Answer. There are 56 routes that Polly can pass. Okay. So there are 56 routes that Polly can pass to go to her friend's house. So next, except sa illustration na binigay ko, meron ding formula na pwede natin gamitin for us to determine how many routes can Polly pass. This is the formula. Open parenthesis m plus n close parenthesis exclamation point divided by double open parenthesis m exclamation point close parenthesis and open parenthesis and exclamation point and double close parenthesis, where m is the number of rows I mean, and n is the number of columns. In the problem, m is the number of columns, and which is 3 columns, and n is the number of mali. In the problem, I mean, m is the number of rows, which is the 3 rows, and n is the number of columns, which is 5 columns. We have 5 columns. So, gagamitin lang natin yung formula. So, open parenthesis, 3 plus 5, close parenthesis, exclamation point, divided by open parenthesis, 3, exclamation point, close parenthesis, and open parenthesis 5 exclamation point, and double close parenthesis, and the result will be 56. By the way, this formula, you can use the calculator for you to get the answer or calculate the uh, problem, the formula given, so that you will get the answer, which is the 56 roots. Then you will get the final answer, which is also the same. There are a total of 56 direct routes for Polly to go to Haley's house. So, let's move on to the next example. Example 2. The problem is, given the illustration in example 1, Polly was asked by her Auntie Rosie to drop by their house to give something. How many direct routes can she take if she will go to her aunt's house? Oh my. So, again, we will use the formula m plus n exclamation point divided by double open parenthesis m exclamation point close parenthesis open and exclamation point double closing parenthesis. So here, iba na yung given. Cm is 2 and Cn is 3. So again, use the calculator. 2 plus 3, open parenthesis, 2 plus 3, and close, exclamation point, divided by double open parenthesis, 2 exclamation point, close parenthesis, open again, 3 exclamation point, and double close parenthesis. And then you will get the answer, which is 10. 10 roots. Then the final answer is there are a total of 10 direct routes for Polly to go to her auntie's house. So, kung babalikan natin yung illustration kanina, Auntie Rosie's house or Polly's auntie's house is in the middle of the illustration of the road. So, you will just count again if you will use the first method na ginawa natin, which is counting. Or, you can use this formula para ma-determine kung how many routes can she pass para makapunta sa kanyang auntie. So, again, there are 10 routes for Polly to go to her Auntie Rosie's house.
Let's solve this simple problem using Polly's strategies. Every Thursday, Johan goes to school for just one subject over the course of 5 months from August to December. So how many Thursdays does Johan go to school in the first semester? So using the Polly strategies, the first thing we need to do is to understand the problem. So now, let's break down the problem into simple terms. So, Johan goes to school for just one subject every Thursday. So, we are asked to calculate how many Thursdays Johan goes to school over a period of 5 months from August, September, October, November, and December. So using the Polya's second strategies, we need to devise a plan. In this case, we can use the making a list method, which helps us identify how many Thursdays are there in each month. We count the Thursdays individually for each month, then sum them up to get the total. So now, let's implement the plan by making a list of Thursdays for each month. In August, we have 31 days. The Thursdays fall on the 1st, 8th, 15, 22, and 29. So there are 5 Thursdays in August. In September has 30 days. The Thursdays fall on the 5, 12, 19, and 16. So there are 4 Thursdays in September. In October has 31 days. The Thursdays fall on the 3rd, 10, 17, 24, and 31. So there are 5 Thursdays in October. And in November has 30 days. The Thursdays fall on the 7, 14, 21, and 28. So there are 4 Thursdays in November. And in December has 31 days. The Thursdays fall on the 15th, on the 5, 12, 19, and 26. So there are 4 Thursdays in December. Now, let's add up the total number of Thursdays. 5 Thursdays in August, 4 Thursdays in September, 5 Thursdays in October, 4 Thursdays in November, and 4 Thursdays in December. So, 5 plus 4 plus 5 plus 4 plus 4 is equal to 22 Thursdays. So now, let's check the solution. So Polya's final strategy is to check the solution. Let's verify rechecking the days before each month and the total count. We find that each month has the correct number of Thursdays and the sum totals to 22, confirming that Johan goes to school on 22 Thursdays. So the final answer is Johan goes to school on 22 Thursdays during the first semester from August to December. So for example number 4, in the room of grade 5 Aguinaldo, the armchairs are organized in unequal rows. Anna is a student who sits in the armchair that is located in the second to the last row and fourth from the front. There is 2 armchairs on the right and 3 on the left of Anna's armchair. So how many armchairs are there in the Aguinaldo's room? So let's understand first the problem. The problem says that the armchairs are arranged in rows and they are equal in numbers in each row. Anna sits in the second to the last row and she is in the fourth chair from the front. There are 2 armchairs to the right and 3 armchairs to the left of Anna's chair. So we need to find the total number of armchairs in the room. So let's make a plan to solve the problem. First, we need to figure out how many armchairs are in Anne's row. Then, after that, we'll figure out how many rows are there. Finally, we'll calculate the total number of armchairs in the room. So now let's solve the problem. Anna has 2 armchairs to the right plus her armchair and 3 armchairs to the left of her. So the total number of armchairs in her right side and her left side plus her armchair is 6. Because 3 plus 1 plus 2 is equals to 6. And in front of her has 3 armchairs plus 1 behind her plus her armchair. So the total number of her rows from her front and behind is 5. Because 3 plus 1 is equal to 5. So to get the total number of rows, let's just multiply the 5 and 6. So we can get the total number of 30. Because 5 times 6 is equal to 30. So the final answer is there are 30 armchairs in the grade 5 Aguinaldo's room.
So hello everyone, today I'm going to walk you through how we solve the problem of calculating the number of text messages exchanged at Alex's party. So first, we need to understand the problem. So it says that Alex has 12 friends and each friend texts every other friend once. So we need to find the total number of unique text messages exchanged. So to solve this, we use a simple formula of n goes in the open parentheses n minus 1 slash 2. So this formula is designed to calculate the number of unique pairs, which is exactly what we need for text messages exchanged. So how to apply this formula? So we know that the n represent the number of friends, which is 12. So we plug that into the formula. So it became 12, my open and close parentheses 12 minus 1 slash 2. So this simplifies to 12 times 11 divided by 2, which is equal to 66. So therefore, there will be a total of 66 text messages exchanged at Alex's party. So in conclusion, by using this formula, we were able to efficiently calculate the total number of text messages. So this formula is a helpful tool for solving similar problems involving unique pairings.
Example number 6. Determine the digit 150 at places to the right of decimal point in the decimal representation 511. We have here a step-by-step solution. 1. Understanding the pattern. The decimal representation of 511 is 0.454545, where the digits 4 and 5 repeats endlessly. And if you guys wondering kung saan galing ang 0.4545, it came from 5 divide 11 gives us 0.4545. Number 2. Grouping the digits. To find the 150th digit, we can group the repeating digits into sets of 2, which is the 45. Number 3. Counting the groups. Since we want to find the 150th digit, we need to know how many groups of 45 are there before the 150th digit. Dividing 150 by 2 gives us 75 with no remainder. This means that we have 75 complete groups of 45 before the 150th digit. Number 4. Identifying the 150th digit. The 75th group ends at the 150th digits. Since the patterns repeat, the 150th digit will be the second digit of 75th group, which is 4. So the final answer is the 150th decimal digit is 4.
Hello everyone, I am Natalie Gonzalez from BSN 1H. Today I'm going to discuss the unit digit to determine the units digits of a power of a number with to examine the pattern of the unit digit of two successive power of that number. Let's start. The to find units digit of 3 raised to 57. We need to start with small cases to find a pattern. Let's calculate the units digit for the first few powers of 3. Like 3 raised to 1 is equals to 3. The units digit is 3. 3 raised to 2 is equals to 9. The units digit is 9. And 3 raised to 3 is equals to 27. The units digit is 7. And the last is 3 raised to 4 is equals to 81. The units digit is 1. The unit digit repeats in a cycle 3, 9, 7, 1. The cycle length is 4. Divide the exponent by 57 by 4 to find its position in the cycle. 57 divide 4 is equals 14 remainder 1. It's the final answer. The units digit of 3 raised to 57 is 3.
Example number 8. Maria received her paycheck. She first bought groceries for 500 pesos. Then she spent half of her money when she went to mall. Then she earned 200 pesos for her overtime pay. She then spent half of her remaining money for a new dress. Finally, she had 400 pesos left. How much money did Maria receive in her paycheck? We have here a step-by-step solution. Let S be the paycheck that Maria received. S minus 500 for the groceries she bought, over 2 because she spent half of her money when she went to mall, plus 200 for her overtime pay, over 2 because she spent another half of his remaining money for a new dress, equals 400 because she had 400 pesos left. Then let's put close and open parentheses. Maglagay tayo ng 2 sa both side. Then, cross out natin yung 2 sa left side and yung sa baba. Natin, 2 close and open parenthesis, S minus 500 over 2 plus 200 is equals to 800, close open parenthesis, 2. 800 siya kasi 400 times 2 is equals to 800. Cross out lang natin yung 2 sa left side and yung 2 sa baba ng S minus 500. Then, baba natin, S minus 500 plus 400. Yung 400 is galing sa 2 times 200 is equals to 400. Equals 1/6. Yung 1/6 galing siya sa 800 times 2. Then, baba ulit natin. S is equals to 1/6 plus 500 minus 400 is equals to 1/7. Final answer is 1,700 pesos.
Example number 9. The product of the age of 3 children is 990. None of their ages are the same. What is their age? So that we can easily find the answers we are looking for, we must first do a method like guess and check. Since school age child are 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, we choose 3 from this. In choosing the 3 ages, choose 3 numbers whose ones digit when multiplied ends in 0, close to 990, and then the product is 990. We need to try different combinations like any number hahanap tayo upang ang dapat lumabas ay 990. Try natin ang 10, 11, 12. I-multiply lang natin ang tatlong number na ito upang mahanap natin ang mismong hinahanap na ages natin. Like 10 times 11 times 12 is equals to 1,320. So mali ito. Kaya ang magbibigay tayo ng another number like 9, 10, 11, ita-times natin ulit para sumakto ito sa 990. 9 times 10 times is 11 is equals to 990. This is the correct answer. So, the final answers ages 9, 10, and 11.
So, sa example number 10 ko po, mango shake and a cheesy bacon burger together cost 170 pesos. The mango shake cost 80 pesos more than the burger. So, ang question naman po is, what are the cost of the burger and the shake? Method, let S be the price of shake and let B be the price of burger. Required, S and B. So, sa solution naman po, kukunta po si 170 si total cost kang dalawa. Nagkukunta man po si price kang shake is 80. I-subtract na po ang 170 and 80. So, 170 minus 80 is equals to 90. Si 90 naman po, i-divide ka sa 2. 90 divided by 2 is equals to 45. Si 45 po, i-plus na sa 80 sa price kang shake. So, 45 plus 80 is equals to 125. So, si 80 po paga, yun na po yung si price kang shake. So, bale, ang price kang sa burger, nagkakahalaga ng 45. So, kaya siya naging 90, duwang burger ang binakalta. So, kaya naging ang total is 170. 90 si duwa ng burger. And 80 naman po si shake. So, 90 plus 80 is equals to 170.
So that's all. Thank you for your time in watching and listening. Goodbye.